friends around the world. My name is KAZU. I welcome you all to come and visit my page. And I hope you enjoy all my posts, pictures, and video clips. I want to use this wonderful opportunity to say thank you all who have been leaving your wonderful comments, messages, and gifts. And I hope I will hear from you again. I also want to say thank you for choosing to view this video clip.
My name is Gunter Pauli. I'm the founder of ZERI and the author of the book called The Blue Economy. I think everyone should ask themselves, what's my dream and how can I realize my dreams? And I will never give up that dream. I will do better even in my life than my dreams ever permitted me to think. Be happy, everyone. Just be happy.
My name is Roy Tamashiro. I am a professor at Webster University in St. Louis, Missouri. Webster University is an independent college, a university that has 109 campuses around the world with an enrollment of 21,000 students. Just this past March 1st, we presented a kind of a historic event. It was an event called Mr. Truman Meets Hiroshima on the Future of Nuclear Weapons, 1945 to 2020. And this was a live meeting between people at the Truman Library, Harry S. Truman Library and Museum in Independence, Missouri, and the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum in Japan. Via video conference with a concurrent webcast for citizens around the world who could also participate by chat, live stream, and Twitter. This was historic in that this was the first time meeting between the first head of state to ever use atomic bombs and of course the citizens in the city where that first bomb was dropped. Well, this was a question that the students actually who inspired this event, the students at Webster University who thought of this idea to have a meeting like this, was asking the question, well, what can we do about the threat of nuclear weapons and other war-like instruments? Because it's the future, it's our future. The older people may not be so concerned, but for the young people, it is their future, and to have an awareness about the impact and the potential of nuclear weapons is very important for them to understand and be able to have a voice in determining their future. I think I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Okay, that's a good answer too.
Well, my name is Lee Byrd, and I'm involved in various organizations in the Santa Barbara area, including Organizing for America, the organizing arm for President Obama, and also the Frank Kelly group here that has the Friday evening soirees, a number of other things. My message for children, well, of course today we've gone more on the thought about the future about nuclear arms really belongs to the children, belongs to the young people. You know, the old people might not care as much, you know, because the chances are, if it's sort of a Russian roulette chance, the chances is it's not going to really explode before they die. But the chance is sort of overwhelming with younger people who may be on this earth for 60 or 70 years more, that chance will come up. And the thing that I want to stress that people are not stressing as much now is, you know, we've talked about how the major powers are not really the main threat with nuclear weapons anymore. President Obama has talked about that. the threat is mainly being perceived now as being rogue non-states, rogue terrorists, non-state affiliated terrorists. But even more than that, I'm very, very concerned about just the accidents, the anomalies that always come up in life. You know, that there are going to be canisters rusting out that people never thought would rust out. There are going to be accidents that happen. There's going to be security guards getting drunk on the job at the middle of the night. There's going to be people pressing the wrong button at the wrong time. You got to count on that happen. There's always human error. Things never function perfectly or theoretically. There's always going to be human error, and there's just gonna. It's inevitable that there's just going to be an accident sometime in the future, probably in this century, if we don't put the nuclear arms down. Another metaphor to this is really how it relates to guns and arms. They say that guns, more people are, if you have a gun in your house, somebody in your family is more likely to be wounded or killed by it than an outside intruder, because there are always accidents. And that metaphor is applicable, I think, also to nuclear arms. That's the message for children, is that we have to disarm the nuclear weapons, because we will blow up the world in the 21st century unless we, sometime during their lifetimes, probably, unless they do. Even if all the major powers, don't take any action, even if no rogue terrorists do, there's likely to be something else happen that we could never even imagine. My hope and vision for the future mainly centers around the United Nations Millennium Development Goals, that we can really reduce hunger and starvation in Africa and other places in the world, the left out parts of Asia, Latin America, by 2015, bring it down by half, and during my lifetime to really rid hunger and starvation and communicable diseases such as malaria and AIDS and other things in our lifetimes. On to the doctor.
You can go in the kitchen there.
So that's my vision or my goal, and that too will help to create a more peaceful world by not having all these people destitute and left out on the margins.
Hello. My name is Selma Rubin. I'm active with a number of organizations in Santa Barbara and for this state. And I remember one of the things that my father taught me, and that was that money is good for the good that you can do with it. And so I belong to a number of organizations. Everybody is constantly fundraising. Everybody is interested in helping to make this a better world, a safer world. And my concern for the future is that we're going to be able to live. And in order to do that, we have to consider what is happening in the missile weapons world. We need to not take chances with our lives or the children and the people in the future. I spend a lot of time trying to have that happen, being concerned about it, to talk about it, to write about it, to think about it. I'm 95 years old. I want to leave this world and know that it's going to be better and that there's going to be a world. Thank you.
I'm Ananya Roy. I'm a professor at the University of California at Berkeley, and the hope that I have for the future is that we live in times of great transformation and transition, These are really difficult economic times. These are difficult environmental times. Here in the US, everything from the financial crisis to the oil spill in the Gulf makes this apparent, but I think it's precisely at these times of transformation and transition that we are able to imagine alternatives. We realize that the system we are a part of doesn't work and that a new system is possible. And so I place my hope in the next generation, the generation of young men and women who are often in my classrooms, those often talked about as the millennial generation. And I think that they show us the possibility of being really engaged rather than simply being cynical, but of being engaged in accountable and responsible and smart ways. This is not just a naive enthusiasm, but most important, they remind us that the system that we are a part of is not working and that change has to be made. But to make change, we have to be able to think about ourselves as global citizens. So it's this idea of global citizenship and the work of millennials in creating global citizenship that gives me great hope.
I'm Helene Schneider. I'm the Santa Barbara mayor. We're here at the Unitarian Society where the Sister Cities organization is hosting a 9/11 concert. It's one of many throughout the world, actually on the anniversary of 9/11. And my hope is that in the future we look to this day as a way that we can come together as a community and as a world in peace and focus on our common humanity as opposed to what tears us apart. And I hope we can get there sometime in the very near future.
My name is Gary Davis. This is a World Government Passport. It's issued by the World Service Authority, 1012 14th Street, Washington, D.C., www.worldservice.org. The future can be a magnificent one if we recognize that we all live on one planet, which is very easy to do because now we can look at it from space, that we are all members of one humanity. And there's no big deal about that because now we have the DNA code. And we know that your DNA, my DNA, and all other DNAs are practically the same. And then we have values. Love is a value. Wisdom is a value. Awareness is a value. All these values mean that we are conceptual beings. So if we put that all together and recognize that the political side of that is to be a world citizen, to recognize that we're living in this world, we're on the world, and we have the right to be here. And that right is codified by a document which came out of the United Nations called the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And it says that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights, and are endowed with reason and conscience, and should act towards one another in spirit of brotherhood. And there are 30 articles, and anybody watching this video should get that copy because it defines our rights as human beings. And Article 21, Section 3 says, the will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of government. We are the people, and that implies a government of the world. And that's what I envision for the future, because the other alternative is that some body who is in a position of national power might decide to push a nuclear button. And if that happens, then the human race, termination is over on this planet, this beautiful planet of the world.